Идите, я догоню.
Выходите в коридор.
Accident or intentionally.
Ребята, короче, капец. Нам пришел капец.
Отсюда, блядь, с Запорожья.
Вот это что это? Это град, да, походу? О, жестко. Стягивает уже все.
Хлопці, от що осталось мого дому. Оце їхня техніка вся. Щоб вам, сука, всім в аду горить. Это все вот возле моего дома. Это вся улица Вокзальная. Это все в Буче, молодцы. ВСУ, молодцы. Правда, есть разрушения, но не без этого. Вот вам, пожалуйста. Вот вам шапки, ушанки. Кто с мечом к нам пришел, тот и от меча погибнет. Вот так вся улица Вокзальная до самой Бучи.
At least a military target, not a civilian one. But according to a local official, 70 Ukrainian soldiers were killed when Russian artillery blew apart this base 80 kilometres northeast of the capital. It's Russia's latest salvo in a war that is quickly escalating.
They use the vacuum bomb today, which is actually prohibited by Geneva Convention.
While Ukrainians are fighting back, hitting Russian tanks with the homemade weapons they've been stockpiling, the Kremlin isn't taking a backward step, unleashing its superior firepower in Kharkiv, Ukraine's second largest city. Unguided cluster bombs on residential apartment blocks. Inside, remarkable video showing some of the shells which didn't explode. In the city today, at least 9 civilians, including 3 children, died. It was clearly a war crime, says Ukraine's president, and it happened just as delegations from both sides sat down on the Belarusian border. Ukraine demanding a ceasefire and withdrawal. The only agreement, more talks. Ukraine's military today released video showing a Russian surface-to-air missile system being destroyed outside Kyiv. But satellite images show it's just a drop in the ocean. This convoy of Putin's forces headed for the capital is now more than 60 kilometres long.
It's deathly scary. On the other hand, we are very hopeful because we have support from all over the world.
Below ground, mums and newborn babies hiding in the basement of Kyiv's children's hospital. These young patients already fighting cancer, adding their voices to the fight for peace. Daniel Sutton for 10 News First.
Раз, два, три, четыре, пять, шесть, семь, восемь, девять, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Есть! Есть, блядь! Два! 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 Сбили, сука!
Last Saturday, Vladimir Putin held nuclear drills for all the world to see. This Sunday, he put them on high alert.
Dear colleagues, you can see that Western countries are not only taking unfriendly economic actions against our country, I mean the illegal sanctions that everyone knows about, but also the top officials of leading NATO countries are allowing themselves to make aggressive statements with regards to our country. That's why I'm ordering the Defence Minister and the Chief of General Staff to put deterrence forces on high combat alert.
Even his defence minister looks concerned.
He's put his nuclear forces on high alert. What does that mean and how worried should we be?
Alerting could mean an increase in general force readiness. It could mean forces from Russia's 12 GUMO, which are in charge of Russia's nuclear arsenal, pulling nuclear warheads out of central storage, bringing them to places where means of delivery are stored, things like strategic bombers, part of Russia's long-range aviation. It could mean a higher alert level of Russia's strategic bomber force. It could mean more strategic ballistic missile submarines being put out to sea, right? Or it could be a larger number of strategic bomber patrols or things of sort of over signaling of that nature.
Russian troops have pushed into Ukraine's second largest city, Kharkiv. But their advance does not appear to be the slam-dunk straight-to-Kiev invasion that they'd hoped for. But they have deployed just a fraction of the military power they have on standby, so that could all change. Sky News has confirmed the presence of thermobaric rockets in southern Ukraine, an especially nasty weapon that the Russians are known to have, which sucks in oxygen to create a massive blast. Videos like this of a Ukrainian soldier swearing he'll never speak Russian again once this war is done, testament to the fact that Ukraine's military will not go down without a fight. Ukraine agreed today to send a delegation for talks with the Russians at a site near Chernobyl on the border between Ukraine and Belarus, but they remained defiant. In Russia, protesters again took to the streets across the country, those who see through the propaganda and know this war is wrong, and who aren't deterred by the inevitable arrests. Nuclear forces on high alert, Ukraine's cities under attack, and this kind of a crackdown back home. It is a hard sell even to his own people that this is all in the name of Russia's defense. They don't know why their president is doing this, and the West doesn't either, which makes planning a response to what is now a nuclear threat that much harder. Diana Magnay, Sky News, Moscow.
Map tracking the Russian assault. As you can see, Moscow has launched its attack from three main sides: the north, the south, and the east. The areas marked in red is where Russia has made gains in the last 5 days. However, the main battle is for the Ukrainian capital of Kiev. A bulk of Russian forces still remain situated nearly 30 kilometers from the capital. But analysts suggest that the Russian progress has been slow. Ukraine says Russia's advance has been slowed by forces defending Hostomel airfield. Now, according to the United Kingdom, logistical failures and staunch resistance continues to stall any Russian advance. In Ukraine's second-largest city of Kharkiv, there have been reports of heavy fighting. On Sunday, Ukraine said that the Russian attack had been repelled, but there are still reports of shelling targeting residential areas and street fighting in the city. Now, according to Ukraine, dozens of civilians have been killed in rocket attacks on Kharkiv, while major cities are still holding up. Moscow has made massive gains in the south. Kiev admitted that the Black Sea city of Berdyansk had fallen, along with Kherson, located on the other side of Crimea. Currently, Moscow has now almost forged a corridor along the Black Sea linking Crimea with Donetsk, which is a rebel-held area. In Ukraine, at least 352 civilians have been killed, including 14 children. As for Russia, it has acknowledged for the first time that it has suffered losses. This comes as Zelensky says the next 24 hours will be crucial for the country. WeOn is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.
Russian-made ZRPK Panzer S was captured by the Ukrainian military. A few hours ago, the Ukrainian military announced the capture of the Panzer S anti-aircraft missile and gun system. Initially, the information on this subject was called unreliable, but the armed forces of Ukraine published a video on which it is really possible to identify the Russian-made Panzer S complex. On the video frames, you can see that the complex did not receive any physical damage. However, apparently, the combat vehicle was simply stuck in the mud. At the same time, it is reported that subsequently the equipment was taken to the place of deployment of Ukrainian troops. The capture of the Panzer S anti-aircraft missile and gun system can create a lot of problems for conducting a special military operation in Ukraine, since with its capabilities, the complex can successfully repel missile attacks and airstrikes. Nevertheless, experts note that the armed forces of Ukraine do not have specialists capable of dealing with these weapons, but against the backdrop of the arrival of several thousand mercenaries in Ukraine, including those who took part in the war in Libya on the side of the Libyan National Army, it is likely that they can successfully use the Panzer S complexes. It should be noted that the Ministry of Defense of the Russian Federation did not declare the loss of the Panzer S complexes, which does not exclude the possibility that the captured complex could be in service with the LPR or DPR.